Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm, LLC, offers more value than any other good full-service real estate brokerage firm when it comes to the sale of your home. We offer at least 27 things that contribute to your home selling in the least amount of time at the highest price. To receive our free home selling pamphlet, email us at info@brooksanddavis.com or call 713-665-8329. We also assist people who want to purchase homes or who are interested in getting their real estate license. Visit us at www.brooksanddavis.com.
Ladies, are you looking to learn more about football? Well, go out today and grab your copy of the Grassberry Gridiron Guide. It's the perfect comfort book with quick tips on football, fan life, and tailgating. Just go to thegrassberry.com and grab your copy today.
Are you an inspiring entrepreneur? Or maybe you're an entrepreneur looking to take your business to the next level. My name is Larry W. Brooks, and I am the author of Empowering Quotes for the Entrepreneur in You and The Entrepreneur Code. In these two books, I guarantee you there's success secrets that will take your business to the next level. I personally invite you to visit larrywbrooks.com. Go under the books link and purchase your signed personal copy from myself. You have a great day and have an awesome 2020. Pure Hustle is not only a clothing brand, but it is a movement. I personally invite you to visit shoppurehustle.com. How do you survive?
Happy Thursday. Welcome to the Prime Real Estate Network podcast. I'm your host, Rick Davis. If you don't follow me on social media, I urge you to do so at Prime Real Estate Rick. You can follow me at Prime Real Estate Rick on Instagram and Facebook. If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate anywhere in the great state of Texas, but especially here in our lovely city of Houston, I urge you to visit our website at brooksanddavis.com. I want to thank everybody for tuning in this week, man. I'm really excited. We have a great episode lined up for you today. As always, I want to introduce to our audience my co-host. Not only is he a Texas real estate broker, multi-time author, serial entrepreneur, but he's known in this galaxy and every other galaxy in the universe as the Texas real estate king. I want to introduce to the audience Mr. Larry W. Brooks. What's going on, brother?
Hey, man, I am enjoying our Houston weather, man. We finally got through, all of that rain that we had going on, which I was appreciating at some point because I hate watering my own grass. So it's great when Mother Nature decides to help out.
Right, absolutely.
But lately, man, we just had a lot of good sun coming in, man. I like the winter. I like our summer weather.
Oh, no, man. The weather has turned for the better, man. I want to give a shout out to everybody who have a birthday in the last couple of weeks, because in July it seemed like everybody's birthday was getting rained on.
True.
But everybody with August birthday been having cookouts, grilling, and the whole thing.
Hanging around the pool.
Congratulate anybody who had a good weather day on their birthday this month, man. Good to have you with us, brother.
No doubt, man.
As always,
it's
man.
Good, man. I'm excited about the show, man. I got a good friend of mine that's in here with us today, and it's just been hard catching up with people with the quarantine thing that they've been having going on. So just being able to have a friend up here and talk about how his business has been changing and things like that, and what he got going on is important to me.
Right. Well, without any further ado, I'd like to introduce to our audience this week's guest. This fine gentleman is not only a motivational speaker, he is a professional trainer as well as life and career coach. I want to thank him so much for carving some time out of his busy schedule to sit in with us. So I would like to introduce to the Prime Real Estate Network audience, career and life coach, Mr. Matt Connor. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks a lot for having me, Rick. Larry?
No doubt, Matt. No doubt. So just a little background. Me and Matt actually went through a Leadership Houston program. What was it, 2017 maybe?
Yes,
20,
yeah.
We
Started right after Harvey.
Right after Harvey, yeah.
Yep.
So class 36, the best class ever, to come through Leadership Houston. And so that's kind of where our relationship began.
That's right.
Yep.
Could you talk to our audience, Matt, a little bit about your consulting company and what it is that you do and what services you provide to the community?
Sure, you bet. Well, Coach Connor Consulting, I am a professional speaker, do a lot of motivational speaking, but I also do training for corporations and individuals, small groups and organizations on everything from networking, presentation skills, positive psychology, and a whole slew of other things. I've got a 25-year marketing background. Started in the advertising agency business, and then went corporate marketing, and finished my marketing career in the architectural engineering and construction industry. So,
The first question I want to make sure I ask you, because I'm sure a lot of the audience would like to know, is how has your business changed in 2020? Especially since the onset of the coronavirus pandemic. And have you found a greater need for your services considering what we've been going through this year?
You know what? There's a greater need for my coaching side, my coaching services. There's a lot of negativity out there these days, and people are struggling to find ways to stay positive and upbeat and not get too pulled down into the negativity.
Yep. Right.
So, but the problem with that is that there's, because of the pandemic and the economy and everything, I mean, businesses are going going belly up, and people are scared,
right?
And because they don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. Well, so no one's spending any money. Right. So I've been doing a lot of pro bono stuff and helping people whenever I can. Trying to keep spirits up and help people whenever they can so that they can, stay afloat during this uncertain time.
One of the things that I've noticed about, especially here locally in my circle of professionals, entrepreneurs, and business people, is that there are a lot more professionals that are now working from home when they were in the past going to the office, interacting with coworkers. And I've started to notice that it's been a lot more people feeling like working from home keeps them from interacting, which is now bringing down everyone's excitement levels, making everyone look at the news more often. And it seems like a lot of the things that we're going through are starting to weigh on people more. Have you noticed that type of thing since everything has started shifting to more of a remote environment and people aren't interacting as much as they used to?
Absolutely. It is, this is going to be one of the, history will show that aspect right there is going to be one of the, I think, one of the largest impacts on society. The virus, we see the impact, of course, people getting sick and dying, which is terrible. But what we don't see, and one of the unintended consequences of the actions that we're taking to try to control the virus, these are going to be long-term effects on people and families and groups. I mean, just not being able to go into the office and associate with your coworkers, that's huge. And what it comes down to is because we have to wear these things, So you can't see if someone's smiling at you or anything like that.
Exactly.
So
able to
you
read.
take away half of the expression, and that is how, facial expressions and how we react to people and see people, that's how we connect.
That's right.
And connection is probably as important as oxygen and food and water to humans. And we've taken that out of the equation, not completely, but it's definitely been handicapped big time, and I think that is going to be have a huge impact on the world, not just Houston and not just the United States, across the globe.
Yeah, and it's funny that you mentioned that, and especially when you're in an industry of, I don't want to say sales, but just any kind of industry where you're communicating with others and body language is important to you. It's challenging when you're having to try to look through a mask to see if you made the right statement that made a person smirk or laugh, or maybe they tweaked the cheek and they didn't quite get what you were saying. To not be able to read those things is
those nonverbal cues.
My goodness, those
Exactly.
nonverbal cues.
I'm a professional speaker.
Yeah.
So I've given I've given a handful of presentations virtually, okay? And it doesn't matter, I gave a presentation to a group of 20 people up in New York City virtually. I was sitting in my living room.
Right.
They were up, sitting in their living room in New York. Well, I try to have fun, and whenever I speak to an audience, I'm always trying to connect with them and getting them engaged. Well, even though some of them had their camera on, most of them didn't, but they don't, they're on mute, so you can't hear if the joke that you just told, if anybody laughed,
Right.
and you're just like, well, I hope that was funny, so you don't get that immediate feedback.
Exactly.
So it's like walking around with a blindfold on.
Right. It's kind of cool because I have some friends that are directors of recruiting at different corporations that have their own recruiting businesses and firms. And one of the questions that they wanted me to specifically ask you was, do you have any tips on how a leader can best motivate his team remotely? Because a lot of times, you have those Zoom meetings with your team at like 8 in the morning and you give them all your rah-rah and try to get their energy really high for the day. Is there anything from a motivational speaker and public speaker's perspective that you want to share with those leaders? Is from a technique standpoint, or should they all just call you and book you in for a training?
Well, they can definitely call me for sure. But connecting virtually, it's something, it's going to become something that's going to become more prevalent because
Absolutely.
all of a sudden everybody realized, hey, we can work remotely. Hey, we can, we don't have to have people come into the office every day. So I think that this is going to be, it may not be 100% that everybody's working remotely, but there's going to be more of it even after the pandemic is over.
Right.
So my suggestion is, they're little things, but you can, if you got to make sure that you're looking at the camera. We have a tendency to look at our screen and look at the other people. So, one of the things that I coach whenever I coach people on presentation skills is the most important thing as a presenter is eye contact. You have to be able to make eye contact with your audience, and whether that's an audience of 2 or 3 or it's an audience of 1,000. You have to reach out and catch individuals and make eye contact with them. And if you, on camera, that's really hard to do.
Right.
And especially whenever you're looking at a monitor, you're Zoom calling on your phone and you've got it and you're looking, so you have to train yourself to look at that little blue dot. What I've done at my home computer is I put a little cutout of some eyes right above my camera, and so that reminds me, hey, look here, dummy, look here, because they don't,
Nice
if you're
tip.
looking off to the side,
Yeah.
then they kind of think, well, who's he talking to?
Right. You lose the message is lost a
Yeah,
little bit.
yeah, and lighting and wear pants. That's always a good thing is wear pants.
They wear pants is a plus. Shaq doesn't wear pants. But you have to wear pants. Because I know that's one of the things that as business leaders, corporate leaders, that's something that most people haven't been trained on.
Oh, yeah.
Is virtual presentations. And that's something that I believe people are going to start reaching out to you about because, like you said, on the horizon, that's definitely something that's going to have to be a part of every sales training curriculum.
Yep.
Is virtual presentations, public speaking, virtual, interacting virtually, that type of thing.
Yep. I've got an engagement coming up next month with an architecture firm here locally, and they've brought me on to do a virtual training on presenting virtually because they're having to go out and make project pitches and calls virtually now because that's just the way it is.
When we were able to actually go out and have large gatherings and you would speak in front of large crowds, how often after you would finish with your talk did people come up to you and ask you how you got involved in public speaking? Have people asked you, how did you become a motivational speaker? Because I'm sure people look at you and just feel like, oh, well, this is just a talent he has. This is just, he has the gift of gab. But when we come back from our break, I wouldn't mind if you wouldn't go into with our audience a little bit about your life before
Absolutely.
you started your company, because I think sometimes, especially as entrepreneurs and business people can always see this finished product.
Yeah.
And they tend to undervalue what it took for you to get there.
Absolutely.
So if you wouldn't mind, I want to go into a little bit about your personal and professional background when we come back.
You bet.
We're going to take a short break to hear from our sponsors, but I want to thank everyone for tuning into the Prime Real Estate Network podcast. We'll be right back. This is Rick Davis, realtor and host of the Prime Real Estate Network.
Are you currently leasing or looking to relocate to the Houston area and you find yourself falling in love with the home but aren't quite in a position to purchase? Well, no worries. We offer the Right to Purchase program. We can place you in the home of your dreams at current market rental rates and give you up to 3 years to buy. Did you know that a majority of the homes that are for sale offer better quality than those that are for rent? So why wait? Don't cheat yourself, treat yourself. Let me and my team help you purchase a home that you and your family can fall in love with. Give me a call today at 832-928-3963 and remember to follow the Prime Real Estate Network podcast on YouTube, Facebook, iTunes, Spotify, and Google Play. I look forward to hearing from you soon. Be blessed. Ladies, are you looking to learn more about football? Well, go out today and grab your copy of the Grassberry Gridiron Guide. It's the perfect comfort book with quick tips on football, fan life, and tailgating. Just go to thegrassberry.com and grab your copy today.
Welcome back to the Prime Real Estate Network podcast. I'm your host, Ric Davis. You can follow me at Prime Real Estate Ric on Instagram and Facebook. If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in commercial or residential real estate anywhere in the great state of Texas, but especially here in our lovely city of Houston, visit our website at brooksandavis.com. As always, my co-host, the Texas Real Estate King, Mr. Larry W. Brooks, rides shotgun live and in the flesh.
Hey, we are in here, man, having a great day, great information. You guys need to be timing in. Have y'all some questions? Just let us know.
Absolutely. And our guest this week is motivational speaker, life and career coach, Mr. Matt Connor. Thank you so much for sitting in with us, Matt.
Hey, glad to be here.
No, I mean, the great thing about having you on was that you shared some very invaluable tidbits, tips, and gems with our audience about how to best connect with a virtual audience. But something else that I wanted to share with everyone is because I want to urge all of our listeners, audience, and subscribers to go to Coach Matt Connor's website, subscribe, be a part, follow, because there's something that you wanted to announce to our audience that I wanted to give you a chance to announce to everyone, because I think this will be the best value that anyone could take advantage of in 2020. And what is it that you're willing to do for our audience, Matt?
You guys decide how you want to pick the winner, but whoever that is, I'll give away a free coaching session.
Yeah.
To an individual. So whoever y'all decide
sounds good.
Deserves that, whether it's by shares or comments or something like that.
Yeah. No, definitely. Be involved and subscribe, because, Matt, the thing that I want all of the entrepreneurs and business owners that watch our show to understand that with this free coaching session, you're going to give them the tools that they need to connect and build their brand virtually. Because as you were saying earlier, that's where you have an idea that's where everything is going to go from that standpoint.
Yep. Unfortunately. It's kind of the new way of the world.
Right. It's the new normal.
Yeah.
But one of the questions I wanted to make sure I asked you, because, a lot of times I speak to a lot of the followers and subscribers about what we have planned for the upcoming show. And I want to ask you, what was your life like before you decided to dive into entrepreneurship and start your own company? Because I know a lot of times people will meet you and they'll undervalue some of the trials and challenges you had to overcome to become the man that they see before them now. So could you talk a little bit about your personal and professional background?
You bet. So I graduated from college with a marketing degree, and I was kind of groomed to be in the advertising agency business. My brother was in the advertising world, and he told me whenever I was a young, impressionable teenager, he said, "Man, you'd be a great account executive in an ad agency because outgoing, can talk to anybody, that kind of thing." And I was like, "Sure, that sounds good." Right. And so that's what I pursued, and that's what I did. Worked for advertising agencies over the first 5 years of my career, then went into corporate marketing, worked for a global software company, got into the AEC industry, that's architectural engineering and construction industry, as a marketing director and then business developer. I did that for 25 years, almost 25 years. And the problem was I was really good at it. I made good money, had lots of great experiences, but I was never really happy. It just wasn't filling my cup. Yeah. And so in 2014, I found myself basically in a deep depression, and in a very, very low place that just I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. And I had a wake up call at the end of 2014. And what I ended up doing, what happened for me was I ended up hiring my own life coach. I hired a young woman by the name of Madison Gray at Greystone Guides, and she basically, I hired her to help me figure out what I wanted to be when I grew up. Yeah. And I was a 43-year-old man whenever I did that. So that was in the summer of 2015, and through that process, I determined that professional speaker was what I wanted to. That was my calling, and from that, the training kind of spun out of it because corporations need people to train their people how to do things, and I'm able to fill my cup. I get my shot of adrenaline by helping others, and then the coaching kind of came along as a third service because it was just natural. I've been coaching people my entire life, whether it was family or friends or just the person, sitting next to you at the bar,
That's right.
So, one of the things that is a triumph that I think is underreported, and I want to ask you about this. You talk about how you suffered from depression, but then you decided to hire a life coach. But I think for our audience, the most important part is that something inspired you to make that move. Because we've all gone through ups and downs, professionally and personally. But everyone doesn't have the wherewithal to hire a professional life coach. So could you speak to what served as an inspiration for you to get off the couch and make the call? Because I think that's super important. I don't want to gloss over that because there's a big difference between sitting on the couch and watching daytime soaps than to taking your destiny into your own hands and making that call. So can you talk about what inspired you or gave you that push to make that decision?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what it was. Where it happened was a few days after Christmas, one evening, I don't remember what happened or why, but I ended up going on a walk outside at about 10:30 at night.
Wow.
And I was walking down the street, and something had happened. I was in a very distraught mood. I was not, like I said, I was in a very low place. And so I was on a walk, and it's 10:30. It's a few nights after Christmas, and there's nobody on the street. It's kind of drizzling. It's kind of chilly, but not really cold.
Right.
And I'm walking down the left side of the street on the sidewalk, and there's nothing going on except there's a couple of headlights coming at me, about a half a mile up the road. And as soon as I saw those headlights coming at me, I just I caught myself thinking, you know what, I can solve everybody's problems right here, right now. And whenever that vehicle gets to just the right spot, I'm going to step off the curb at just the right time and just check out.
Wow.
And I can solve everybody's problems. I got life insurance. My family would be taken care of. And it wasn't just a fleeting thought. For that half a mile, as what turned out to be a blue Chevy truck was coming towards me, I was having like a real mental tug of war with myself about whether or not I was going to step off that curb. Thankfully, I didn't, but I scared the living crap out of myself, and because like I said, it wasn't just like a fleeting thought. It was there was seconds of thought going into it. I woke up a few days later on New Year's Day, and I had just at what I call an awakening. And I just said, you know what? Life is beautiful. I'm doing it wrong. I need to figure this out. And I have too many people that are counting on me, and there's too much beauty in the world that I don't want to miss it. And that was the moment that I decided to change. And I started reading and doing research and talking to people and paying attention to signs that were presented in front of me that may have always been there, but I just had blinders on. I'm not sure. But it's amazing that whenever you open up yourself and your mind to opportunities and good and beauty and positivity, that's what starts showing up.
So coming,
So you have to put yourself in the type of environment where you can be successful and be happy.
Yeah.
Right. Wow. And the thing about your brand that's so impressive is that it's built on a foundation of service.
Absolutely,
So-
100%.
So if you could go back and speak to yourself maybe 15 years in the
Oh.
past,
Wow.
is there a singular piece of advice that you would give yourself that you feel like would last you the test of time?
Absolutely. I would give myself the advice of don't settle. If it doesn't feel right, if you're unhappy, then you need to figure it out. You need to figure out what you want to do. I find myself, whenever I'm working with coaching clients, I ask them 3 questions, and most of the time they don't know the answer right away. They have to really, really concentrate and
Yeah.
think about what the answers are. The first one is, what do you want? Most people really don't. They'll tell you, yeah, I want a nice house and a nice car, but is that what you really, really want? Is that what's really going to make you happy? Because most of the time, we all know those things are that happiness is pretty short lived.
Yeah.
The second question that I asked them is, what's your definition of success?
Yeah.
Is it really the corner office with the partner, partnership, or is it something else? Is it something
Right.
deeper? Is it something inside?
Yeah.
And the last question is, who do you want to be? What makes you happy?
Yeah.
And when you really press someone and call BS on their answers, whenever they give you a quick answer or something
Right.
like that, they really start to think and wonder. So that's one of the things that I work on in my coaching.
No, I mean, I feel everyone, if at all possible, should have the opportunity to actually, if not sit down with you personally, at least sit down with you virtually and go over these things. So could you share with our audience the next opportunity that they may have to hear you speak in a virtual forum where
Sure.
there may be some exchange of ideas and things of that nature?
Absolutely. I've got an event coming up, a virtual event for an organization called SMPS Southeast Louisiana, and it's open to all anyone can register and attend. SMPS is a marketing organization in the architectural, engineering, and construction industry. It stands for Society for Marketing Professional Services. The Louisiana chapter, the Southeast Louisiana chapter, is having me come out, having me plug in. How does that sound better? Having me plug in. They wanted a motivational presentation, and so. It's on positivity. That's kind of the idea. But the title of it is, you'll appreciate this, Rick, is Embrace the Contrast, What to Do When Life Throws You a Flaming Bag of Dog Crap.
Yeah.
Right.
Facts.
And
No
and
doubt
you know,
about
and
it.
it seems like 2020. It seems like that machine's been on rapid fire. It's
Absolutely.
just one bag
Absolutely.
after another. And so I address how we can take the negativity that seems to be surrounding us and what you can do personally. Because if your solution is I'm going to change what somebody else is doing, well then I got news for you. You're going to fail.
This is crazy, Matt. Please share with our audience all your contact information, how they can follow you online and stay abreast of everything you have going on.
You bet. My website is www.coach-connor.com. You can call me on my cell phone, text me, whatever, 832-755-4254. My email is matt@coach-connor.com.
Hey, Matt, I thank you so much for sitting in with us, man. Me and you was talking so much before we started taping, and a lot of the things that you talked about before recording and during recording just lets me know that I'm not the only person going through these things and having these feelings. So I want to thank you so much for sitting in, man. Larry.
You are not alone.
Come on,
that's what
bro.
everybody needs to know.
Hey, look, but that's why it's so important that we have this exchange of ideas, and I thank you so much, man.
Thank you for having me. I really had a great time.
Hey, you pulled it off this weekend, Mr. Brooks. You reached deep down into your black book of connects.
Hey, man,
and
I'm
came
saying,
up with another
it's-
A+ professional, man. So thank you.
This is what we need during this time, man. We need guys like Matt that's actually in the space and know how to get people on the right page mentally and what they need when it comes to their business and their company. So yeah, by all means, man.
Hey, man, you did it this time, brother. What you got going on this week for
Man, this
everybody,
week I'm
Brooks?
actually gonna be busy, man. I'm gonna be out.
Oh,
and
this
about.
was somebody outside. Brooks
I
outside.
need for people to support some of the things going on. So tonight I'll be speaking at a virtual conference. Is whysalesnetwork.com. It's a free conference. Log on. Myself and some other salespeople from other professions will be talking about maintaining your sales impact. So for those of you that are in the sales industry and you're trying to, kind of like what me and Matt were just discussing earlier about how to read the cues on if you're going to be able to progress with that sale, or if you need to add more information, add more yeses and stuff. So we'll be talking about that later on this evening. So I want you guys to plug into that. Over the weekend, Rick, you got a new listing this past week, man. It's an amazing $500,000 property out in Rochelle, Texas. So I'll be out there hosting an open house. For those of you that have not had an opportunity to walk into an estate like this, come visit with me. Come hang out with me. It's Rochelle, Texas. I'll be sharing the address more, but it's 3600. There's I'm sorry, let me start this over. I'll be out there open house Saturday and Sunday from 2 to 4 p.m. The address is 3610 South Shores Drive in Rochelle, Texas. So again, I'll have it posted all over my social media. Come out, hang out. I'll be passing out gifts. So if you come out, say, Brooks, I heard you said you was gonna have some gifts. I got some gifts for you. So we'll be taking photos.
Hey, how can I get one of those shirts, man?
Oh yeah, and I'm gonna get this Pure Hustle plugged in. No doubt about
Come on,
it.
man. Hey, look,
So that's
bro,
where I'll be this week, man.
Hey, man, I urge everyone in our audience to stop by that open house, man. It's a beautiful estate in Rochelle. If you haven't had an opportunity to meet Mr. Brooks in person, he's even funnier in person than he is online.
Look at this.
I can attest to that.
I urge everyone to stop by, man. On behalf of myself, the Texas Real Estate King, Mr. Larry W. Brooks, I want to thank career coach Matt Connor for sitting in with us. If you need anything, man, we're only a text, DM, or inbox away. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to the Prime Real Estate Network podcast. We'll see you all next Thursday, and be blessed.
Brooks & Davis Real Estate Firm, LLC is marketing a property for sale right now that you can buy. These properties range from land lots for under $20,000 to move-in ready homes $500,000 and more, along with everything in between. To see this week's list of properties for sale you can buy now, go to bit.ly/BDREF weekly list. That's bit.ly/BDREF weekly list. If you plan on selling some real estate and you need it on the weekly list, call 713-665-8329 to speak with someone about it.